The future of American politics. In this video, I predict the future of American politics, and speaking about predicting the future, if you do not know, that CNN Plus and its streaming service will be shutting down. Wow, not a surprise right there. So my first prediction to start off the video is that Joe Biden will not run in 2024, no matter what he says. If he says today he is going to run in 2024, that would be a lie, because Joe Biden is known to be a liar. And whatever he says is not always true. So, yes, I do not think he is going to run in 2024. If he says he is, he's not going to. In fact, I think he might continue to say he is right now. But I think months prior to the 2024 presidential election, I think he will decide he is going to step out. So that is one of my predictions, that Joe Biden will not run in 2024, no matter what he says. If he says from a month from now he is going to run, if he says in 2 years from now he's going to run, at the very last moment of the 2024 election, I think he's going to end up not to run. In fact, I think a year before the 2024 election, to put an exact date, I think he's going to announce that he's stepping out, and he's just going to take the first term of 4 years. Because I think he has realized, and he's come to realize, that being president is not what he's thought. You know, he's been with Obama. He had experience not being president, but being vice president, and, you know, sitting next to, you know, a president for, I believe, 8 years. But I think he realized that it's been a mess, and he thought he can handle it, but he just can't, simply can't. He failed in Afghanistan. He's looking embarrassed. My next prediction is that the South will become blue if we have presidents elected in the White House that will keep our borders unsecure and open at all times. Now, for example, Texas. In fact, I think Texas will not flip blue until another 10 plus years. Within this 10 years, the next 10 years, I think Texas will not have a single chance at turning blue at all. So if you're asking me, will Texas flip blue in 2024? I will think it will not get close to 3%, 4% at all. Maybe in 2028, I would think not as well. Texas will not flip in 2024 or 2028. In fact, in the 2030 midterms, it probably won't flip at all. But in the 2030 midterms, I think that's the earliest it can flip. In the 2032 presidential election, I think is the earliest Texas can flip blue. And put Texas aside, if you look at Arizona, these two southern states, we're not looking at New Mexico, we're not looking at, you know, Louisiana, that kind of south. No, we're looking at the states, the southern states that border between Mexico. You know, Louisiana it's south, but it doesn't border with Mexico. I don't think so. Texas, mainly Texas and Arizona, we're talking about these kind of southern states. So yes, Texas will not flip in the next 10 years, but if we keep electing presidents into the White House like Joe Biden, who keeps opening the borders, then yes, Texas will turn blue. And that's the main reason why Joe Biden opens up the border. It's for political reasons only. It's to keep the Democratic Party alive in elections. In fact, the only reason why these Democrats just like Joe Biden, Obama, any Democrat that opens up the border, or not just Democrats, anybody, mainly Democrats open up the border, the only reason why is for political reasons, to gain voters from these people coming in from Mexico. They come in from Mexico and vote Democrat all the time, and that's what these Democrats want. They want more Democratic voters because they don't have enough, and it's a fact. So that's why they open up the borders, to receive more votes from illegals that should not even be allowed to vote. And it should be illegal, but for some reason they're allowed to vote, and it's kind of it's terrible. And now Arizona, I think Arizona has a better chance at flipping than Texas. I think Arizona has a possibility of remaining to any Democrat in 2024. But if you watch my 2024 presidential election prediction, no, I think it's going to flip red. I think it could flip red. You know, 2020 was a little bit of a down year for Republicans. So that's the main reason why. To sum this second prediction up, Texas will not flip blue within the next 10 years. In fact, the earliest it will flip blue, probably 2030 midterms to the 2032 presidential election. And with Arizona, I do think it has more possibility, more chance to flip blue in the next 10 years than Texas. Arizona is already headed that way, as you saw from the 2020 presidential election. But Texas, less likely so. Now, on to my third prediction. My third prediction of the future of American politics is that the United States will not lose its number one spot in military power. It will not come. Russia and China, the top 2 and 3, closest to the United States power, will not come close. In terms of nuclear weapons, yes, Russia does defeat the United States, but for the most part, other than nuclear weapons, the United States remains on top and probably will for the next 50 to 100 years. Within that range, I would say 30 to play it safe. But what else is there besides Russia and China? If Russia does not come close to the United States in aircraft, same with China, then who else can compete with the United States? No one can. If the top 2 is this bad, if you don't know, the United States destroys Russia. No, not really destroys, but is better than Russia, both Russia and China, in terms of aircraft. In some scenarios, actually most, at least half. If you're talking, fighter jets, if you're talking attack, whatever, anything aircraft. Stealth bombers. The United States have one of the best stealth bombers, if you guys did not know, which they do come in handy. If you were to take Russia and China out, no one would come close to. Every single country does not have a stealth bomber. I believe Russia and United States. So if the top 3, if both China and Russia, top 2 and 3, can't come close with the United States in terms of military power, then the United States will probably remain top 1, and will not lose its spot in the next 30 years, in my opinion. So the United States military should not be an issue for the next 30 years. Of this video is that the Black Lives Matter movement, known as BLM for short, will not be the focus anymore. BLM will collapse. BLM will just disappear out of the blue. If you do not know, support for Black Lives Matter has decreased for at least 50% of people who supported it a year ago say they do not support it anymore. They don't care about it. They may support it if it was a bigger thing right now, but it's not anymore because they have been exposed. They are doing money laundering, if that's what it's called. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I believe it's money laundering. And they took the money that you donated to them and they spend it on their personal needs. They spend it on their best cars. They spend it on their house. They spend it on their personal needs, right? They did not help a single black person. In fact, Donald Trump and his administration did more for black people than BLM, if you did not know. BLM took the money for the personal needs. Donald Trump did more for black people than BLM. So yes, they have lost at least 50% of their supporters from a year ago. And the Black Lives Movement. So to sum up my prediction about the Black Lives Movement, Black Lives Matter movement, BLM, in 1 year from now, there will be no more Black Lives Matter protests. The organization, the corrupt organization that is a fraud organization, it's known to be fraud, and there's evidence. They have been taking your money and spending it on their personal needs, not helping a single black person. Who did they help? They did not help Breonna Taylor. Did she receive money? Did George Floyd's family receive money? It makes no sense. Think about it. So in a year from now, BLM will be no more. If another black person dies from police brutality, well, they say police brutality, they're not going to be chanting BLM. They're probably going to be chanting something else. Because BLM, their founders have been arrested, if you do not know. So so one of my predictions is BLM will not be a thing in a year from now. It won't. And my next prediction, my fifth prediction, I believe, my sixth prediction is that Hunter Biden, he's already been exposed. He's already been, he's actually been investigated. He's already in trouble. But my prediction about Hunter Biden is he's going to get into deeper trouble. He's already in trouble. He's been exposed, with his laptop and whatnot. I don't want to get into the whole thing, so we're going to cut this short. He may face charges at the end. So that's one of my predictions. Hunter Biden, in a year from now, may face charges. Is that within these years, more kids will come out as LGBTQ plus QR T Z Y, whatever you want to call it. More kids. The number will increase in kids becoming LGBTQ R plus Y, whatever you want to call it. because it is being taught at a young age now, and they are starting to do that. You're finding LGBTQ ABC books for children as young as 3 years old. They are starting them at a young age, so they want an increase. And now Disney wants at least 50% of their characters in real life to be LGBTQ. And at this point, my prediction is, since they are doing this, teaching kids at a young age, the percentage of LGBTQ people will go higher because of all this. Now, this prediction, it's already happening. The number is going higher already. So not really much of a surprise. So these are my 7 bold predictions about the future of American politics. Will be in the description. We are close to 200 followers, so get me to 200 followers. We're actually about 167, sorry. 168, I believe, it's close to 170 followers on there. Get me to 200 followers. Follow me on TikTok if you aren't already. Tell me if you agree with my predictions, my future predictions of American politics. Let me know which ones you agree with and which one you do not agree with. And let me know your future. Your prediction of the future of American politics in the comment section down below, because I'm sure you have some future predictions of American politics, and if you have some, might as well comment it down below, to be honest, to start a discussion, so we can interact more and I can interact more.